Yeah. Yeah. I know they mad for no reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Gotta move fast for a reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Oh, 700K, I'm selling a Bitcoin. Haters mad, but they listen to this one. More profit coming to my direction. Yeah, you know me, I don't need a mention. I got the remedy, ooh, yeah. They don't just follow me, ooh, yeah. You say allegedly, ooh, yeah. You would subscribe to me, ooh, yeah. Staring at chart, drawing a line. Make a decision, you out of time. Huddling, huddling, huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Stay on stage. On-Chain Revolution. Guns. Phone.
Welcome back to On-Chain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the On-Chain Hour, and today is going to be awesome. Not for crypto, but for me. Today is my birthday. I'm actually 38 years old today, and I've been more poor this year than I've ever been. No, I'm just kidding. This year's been pretty crap, not gonna lie. Being 37 wasn't the best year of my life, but hey, 38 will be. I'm excited for next year, but how long is that going to take? Is that going to be, Q1? Is it going to be Q2? Is it going to be Q3? Will we have to wait until Q4? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. Did Santa skip us? Everyone else is having crypto rally. I mean, not crypto rally, a Santa rally. Gold, all-time high. Silver, all-time high. Tesla, NVIDIA, they're getting there. They're getting back to their all-time highs. The S&P 500 up today. Just garbage for crypto. But it's not gonna be like this forever, guys. It's tough right now, but tough times create tough people. Tough people become the next millionaires because of what you've dealt with over the course of the last 12 months, what you dealt with over the course of the last really 90 days made you so much smarter than you ever thought you would be in crypto. I'm truly excited for what's to come, and I'm truly excited for today's show. So without further ado, let's get the show started. Bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
It's good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Excited. Today's the first day that we are officially, working with Pyro and streaming. I believe directly from the Pyro.Buzz platform. Excited, as you can see, something different on the screen there. But you can go to Pyro.Buzz to kind of learn about how that works. But basically, you can kind of bid on that area. But excited about that. And then not so excited about the fact that we are most likely going to be on the naughty list for no good reason this year, right?
Yeah,
so
sure. Let's kind of get into that a little bit. So if you guys go to Pyro.Buzz, it's the big thing in the market right now is ICM, Internet Capital Markets, right? And another other big thing is Creator Capital Markets. So what they've taken, Internet Capital Markets, mixed it with us, which is Creator Capital Markets, and put them together. This is how potentially the new era of advertising and streaming is going to happen. So if you guys want that spot that Carta has right now, let's go to Pyro.Buzz, and that spot could be yours, but you will have to beat them out. So it's a little fun. It's almost gamified. So shout out to Pyro and what they're building there. So really bullish on that. But for today's price action, just got above 88. Where do you kind of see us balancing out for the rest of the year? If you were forced to give me a number, where we would be right as the ball's dropping for the end of the year? What do you think that's going to be?
I have a feeling that they're going to try to push it towards the end of the year and try to get us over 100K. But maybe that's just me being optimistic. But I could see that happening. Or the scenario of just, holidays, people are checked out mentally and saying, hey, let's just get it over to the new year, right? But I have a little bit of a gut feeling that they're going to try to push it over 100K, and that's weird to think that, but we've been sitting between 87 and 90 for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm actually thinking the other way. I think we actually get below 80,000 the next
Woo!
8 days, and that's mainly because of tax loss harvesting. I see a lot of that coming. And what that does is basically if anyone bought above where we're at today, meaning 90,000 or higher, they can actually take a loss against any gains that they take. Let's just say they sold Tesla, they made $10,000, but they bought Bitcoin at 100, and now it's 88, right? So they basically it's kind of a wash, right? So they take their win against their loss, but if they don't sell, they got to pay the full taxes on Tesla. And I do feel like a lot of people made a lot of money this year when it came to stocks, and the same people bought Bitcoin. So I do see a lot of tax harvesting happening in the next 7 to 8 days going into it. And then that's kind of why I'm kind of really negative on January, because like the people who are tax harvesting, they can't buy for 30 days. So potentially they're going to want to keep that price down to potentially get back in at like 80, 70. I actually see 71,000 for Q1. I know I used to be bullish on Q1. Pushing that out a little bit here. I'm actually kind of bearish on Q1 here. Just because the lack of people in the space, the lack of viewership on every crypto related content, no matter what that is. It's almost like it's devastating almost what this market has gone through since 1010.
Yeah, look, even before 1010 though, the trenches were getting a little bit tighter and harder. And you were still trying to look for opportunities in different ecosystems. If you remember, throughout the entire year, there was spurts, but not like that kind of just put your foot on the gas, right? For example, like Tau, right? That whole Tau ecosystem that had success, and then you get deep into it, and usually when you get deeper into an ecosystem that has hype around it, you find a good amount of success, getting into the subnets, figuring out how to work subnets, how to research them, and see what's potential. And it just didn't really yield anything that was I would say like that euphoric type of feeling, right? Yeah, you did have some that did, maybe 5x, 10x here and there, and you'd have to be patient for sure on those and figure out like what's your exit strategy and all that stuff. And then it went dormant, right? And then it started to go down. Then you try to look for another ecosystem, and it kicked off with the AI, kind of with virtual beginning of this year. And my whole point of saying this is that like, whether you were trying to look at the utility sectors or the meme and highly speculative based off community at the far end of the risk curve sectors, it's been not easy this year. And then October 10th just made that completely like 10 times harder after that. So that's where we've been, and we'll see how 2026 goes.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I just felt like June, July, and August were so amazing. It was like it was like the start of something. Ethereum went from 1,300 in May to almost 5,000 in August, right? And then we had September, which was like, okay, it's cool down month, like normally cool down month. October is going to be here, and then as we're entering October, we hit an all-time high on the 6th, right? Everything felt like it was happening. It felt like we were going to break out. It felt so good, and then 1010 happened, and all the liquidity drained from the market. Like, you know what I mean? If you think about it that way, ETH all-time high August, cool down month in September. We all expected it. We all talked about it. We're going to run. As soon as October starts, we're going to run. And then we get hit with 1010. Takes all the liquidity out the markets.
1000%. And so I think you explained that perfectly. All the stuff that I talked about before, you just gave your take on it. It's like it was all okay. It'd be worth it if we got that Q4, right? So yeah, the rest of the year was hard, but it's okay because we're going to go into a bullish environment. And they just took that away and actually made it worse than the earlier that year. And so I think that's why there's a lot of kind of the sentiment, right? This doom and gloom sentiment, and you're seeing it on crypto Twitter really more and more every day. People trying to point fingers, are trying to really expose the space and for different ways, whether they feel like it's become this vile area of just too much degeneracy,
Yeah.
or just a land of very little, very little or no opportunity, kind of, right? And we know that there's opportunity. There's builders building, like Agent Hustle, like Merlin Chain, like Pyro, like these builders that like building, and then but they are heads down building because they know
Yeah.
the current market conditions, right? So they just want to be ready for when it does get better, and that's the golden question: when does it get better?
Yeah, I mean, right now there's some amazing projects, right? Hyperliquid sitting at, around $24. This thing was close to 50. Tau sitting at 216. Hit a high in February of 770. It is now $215. Like, Aster hit $3 earlier this year, sitting at 68 cents. Wilfi it came out at 25-30 cents, sitting at 13 cents. You get XPL, which I truly believe in because I love Tether, sitting at 12 cents. This thing was $1.80. Like, there's so much opportunity in this market for people to buy now, but everyone's scared. Everyone is afraid to buy XPL at 12 cents because they're afraid it goes to 6. Everyone's afraid to buy Dog, the big #1 Bitcoin meme token, at 900. What is it?
95 million.
$95 million, because they're afraid it hits 45. We had this conversation. We were both just like, damn. When Dog hits $1 billion, this is going to be a big. We're like, wait, I kind of want to get it cheaper, right? So we're like, our mindset right now is so screwed up because we're almost at the point now where it's just like, send it lower. Go ahead.
So
over.
couple that mindset with the mindset of, okay, so these utility memes, they're slow movers, or sorry, utility projects, tokens, they're slow movers, but we know they have like all the potential in the world. But I don't want to wait for that necessarily, right? 6 months for it to fruition, because everybody's hurting so much right now that they need money now. So then the option is to go to the casino and try to play some of these, the new pairs. I think you pretty much know that that's a black hole, right? Where your Solana is not coming out of that. But like even the pairs that have gone through their first day, even first couple days, now they're in day 4 and 5, they seem like they're building momentum. You're like, okay, I'm not playing new pairs. I'm trying to be more strategic and play established communities that have been created in these meme coins and stuff like that. And you see them start to grow, and then all of a sudden they just get cut down at the knees and then they bleed out. So it's like there's no winning strategy at the moment other than just deploying a ton of tokens, and unfortunately that has been where people have seen the most success, right? And if you have a crypto Twitter account that has over 50,000 followers, and you have the personality to really not care at all by just launching multiple token after token after token, and the people that are here, that are left here, that aren't builders heads down, or don't have a show, or don't do this and that and the other, they're mostly here to make money, and a lot are here to extract. Let's be honest, right? Yeah. So for them, it's almost kind of like it's being celebrated, like the launching of 1,000 tokens a week, as long as you have that 1 or 2 or 3 that hits and then it pulls back, right? So I feel like we're in this area to where now that's starting to calm down a little bit too, because people are calling it out and people are realizing that like these are the only people making money right now, and everybody else is losing to them.
But like, how many
Other
people
than
is
the
there? Like,
platforms.
we're saying it's like 1,000 people, when in reality it's like 15 or 20 people, right?
What?
Like, they're actually it's like being successful at launching tokens, actually making money from launching these tokens, like 15 or 20 people max, right? Like, so it's just like, so we're basically saying right now 20 people are making money in this space.
So I think there's like, some that have their account, docs or whatever, and then you have some that like probably create a lot of side wallets and launch tokens. They just know the strategy of how to get it going. I don't know what the number is. I would imagine it'd be a little bit more than that. But nevertheless, you know, like there's people that have done it, and one of their tokens have gone to like $2 to $5 million market cap, and because of that, like they've made their name in the thing, and so they've been given the green light to launch as many tokens as they want, and people will buy into them because they had that one winner, or you know, a couple winners here and there,
Yeah.
and they're making hand over fist in money, right? And of course, the platforms are making money. You know, Pump.Fun's making money.
Think they're making money. There's no actual proof that they're making money.
What?
These launchers are actually there's no proof.
You can see the creator rewards, dude. The creator rewards are absolutely astronomical, like huge. Like some of them are making. Yeah, I saw a guy that made like 250K in a week and a half.
But like he's bundling wallets, you know, how much is he actually?
But they don't care. Right? They still buying into it. Is my point. You know what I mean? People are still buying into it. You know, you make 50 grand, you don't care to bundle a wallet, and you know, as long as you're in profit, right? So, you know, that's kind of the state of the trenches right now. I feel like but there's something that's kind of interesting, but it's still kind of just really bad for new pairs right now. But people are, you know, this guy came out with a snowball token that automates the creator rewards and rebuys the tokens, and I believe locks them maybe or something, but it's like the whole snowball kind of effect. I guess that's why he called it that. And it went to like $8 million, $10 million. And then you had literally 1,000 like replicas of that snowball token. This is snowball tech, but we're naming it Olaf, or this is using snowball tech. And it's just like, that is the culture right now. So going back to what you were talking about though, about some of these, you know, utility tokens and getting into those cheap prices, to be honest, that's the smart medium and long-term play. You know, I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? So,
well, don't stop chasing the 100Xs, right? I think that's my biggest advice to anyone still out there, and get Hyperliquid cheap. We're going to look back in a few years and see Hyperliquid. Oh, wow. Remember it was $24. And when it's like, you know, $200, right? Like, I think Tau could still hit $2,000-$3,000 in the next 12 months. And we're gonna look back and be like, damn, I could have got for 216. Just think about that for a second, right? If you're someone sitting there and you're broke during this time, $216 could potentially be $2,060 in 12 months. And I think we have to start thinking that 10x is a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we've got to the point now where it's 1,000x or nothing. And I think right now isn't the time for that. So, but let's get into our next thing here. So the great poet Biggie Smalls once said, we used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat. Wonder why Christmas missed us. So that kind of leads us into our topic today. Santa skipped crypto. No rally yet. Are we still WAGMI? So we're all not going to make it. I apologize for anyone still in WAGMI 2021. There's going to be winners and there's going to be a lot more losers. We have to figure out how can we be those winners. But why did Christmas miss us, in the words of the great Biggie Smalls?
Christmas missed us because there's no liquidity to, you know, give presents to Santa to drop off for us. You know, that's why Christmas missed us at the end of the day, you know. And it sucks, but that's what the truth is, right? It's we just don't have the liquidity, man. There's no liquidity here, and so, you know, you do focus on who's still here and who's building, but it's so crazy because like the casino's still open and there's still people that are participating in that. But not really much of anything else, right? I think you're having some whales maybe buy into some of these tokens that are hold tokens, HODL tokens, outside of Solana's ecosystem, right? They have to be like a chain token or a really large protocol token for that protocol. You know, we obviously see that with like Merlin Chain. And they do have a strategy, a buyback strategy as well. And it's been proven with Hyperliquid that it works, right? If you do it correctly. 100%. And I think that's pretty much the extent of it, right? And then you have people like, you know, we had John on from Digital Gold, and he's focused on some of these type of tokens I was just talking about, like, you know, like ICP, some of these, you know, near protocol that he feels like are chain tokens, but they're stagnant right now. But he sees the tech, he sees the potential. That's probably going to be more relevant in 2026, because if they are kind of trying to reset the rules a bit and bring their perceived value rules over to us, they're going to be looking at that, like near protocol. What's the tech stack look like? Oh, this is why it has an advantage, this, that, and the other. So I think getting ready mentally for that is going to be important.
100%. We had some GDP stuff this morning. U.S. economy GDP grew to 4.3% and grew 4.3% in Q3, beating the expectation. So the U.S. economy is growing in all aspects. So GDP covers, pretty much everything when it comes to the economy. It's really they look at unemployment, they look at inflation, they look at money on the sidelines and everything. And the U.S. GDP is growing, which means the economy is growing here in a year where it really didn't feel that way. I mean, I'm giving Trump credit here because during the Biden administration we had 2 negative GDP reports in a row, which is usually the R word, recession. Trump's coming in here, his first year, 4.3, pretty incredible, honestly.
It's good, but like, what are they using for the metrics, right? Like, I don't trust anything anymore in terms of the reporting of the economy, because when you change the rules of two GDP negative reporting in a row being actual recession, not being the status quo anymore, and then now
they didn't change the rules; they just came out and sugarcoated it, right? They say, "Oh, it's not a recession," you know what I mean? So the rules are still there. It's just at the time they were just trying to sugarcoat it and tell you they weren't
sugarcoated, or like say that's not that's not how it works anymore. Because that's what I.
If you go back to every recession, they always say that, right? I mean, I'm sure in 2008 Obama probably came out and was like, like,
no, he had somewhat of an excuse. I feel like Obama did.
Biden did too. He used COVID as the excuse, right? So
true. But regardless, that's how they do it, and it's going to be a positive thing for them. So
I agree. There's some not good news out there for Pump.Fun and a lot of these launch pads. So I've brought Berwick Law, who is instigating this. They
followed me today.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So they're coming out and they see an opportunity for them to make money, right? So they're going after Pump.Fun, they're going after Launchcoin, Clout, Pasternak, the whole Believe ecosystem, and they're trying to say investors didn't understand the complex situation that they were getting themselves in with buying the coin and why they lost money. So they're suing Pump.Fun, which I didn't know, but Baton Corporation, I've seen this multiple times on timeline. Baton Corporation, that is the umbrella for Pump.Fun. So when guys like Peter Thiel invest in Pump.Fun, they're not investing in Pump.Fun directly. They're investing in the umbrella corporation, Baton Corporation. So that was one thing. And apparently Baton has a bunch of different businesses. Pump.Fun is just one of them. But Aguilar is suing. He's one of the people there that are represented by Berwick Law. They're actually suing Pump.Fun. And there's another lawsuit against Clout and Pasternak. With the Clarity Act coming, should we expect more of this? Do you think there's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming for a lot of these so-called companies in the future here?
No, but I do think after the Clarity Act gets released, well, I think that they're going to try to squeeze them in before the Clarity Act gets finalized, because after the Clarity Act is out there, then they can because the argument right now is going to be, well, this was our understanding, there was no fiduciary obligation for the Believe platform to make the Believe token go up. That's not how it works. We explained that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There was no hard set rules. But after the Clarity Act comes out, there is going to be hard set rules for that, right? And so I think that this law firm is probably trying to squeeze it all in before that actually rolls out, right? And then after it rolls out, I think we don't see as much of this kind of stuff as we saw before.
I actually think it's the other way. I think we're going to see thousands of lawsuits.
No. I mean, you're not going to see as much of the activity type of like pump funds.
Oh, the degen activity.
That kind of like, even though you don't.
Well, what are they going to shut down? The users are still going to be there.
So there's a big. I mean, there's there's something that I've seen on the timeline multiple times talking about KYC,
You can't
and
KYC. You
I
can't
mean,
KYC Pump.Fun. It's not
sure,
possible.
okay, fine. Let's say that you can't, but I'm seeing stuff like that, and that's how it was with uh, this lawsuit too. At first, when I brought it up to you first time, you were like, "Oh, that's not going to be nothing." Really, the Burke lawsuit, it's kind of just a nothing burger, but it seems like it's not going to be a nothing burger, and they're going to cause like be a thorn in their side, and so how does it change that? I think that they're going to have to figure out how to change like wording, offerings, and maybe like the whole approach to that risky part of the space. I don't know how they can do it, but there's going to
Yeah.
be there's already, this is the beginning of some pressure, I feel like. And some people are saying that's kind of why Elon hasn't been in crypto Twitter talking and stuff like that, because he's been absent for a long time.
No, I agree with that, but it's impossible to KYC something like Pump.Fun, for instance, right? Because if you KYC Pump.Fun, you got to KYC Uniswap. It's you know what I mean? Because it's the same mechanism. It's peer-to-peer liquidity trading, right? So it's just like, it's one of those things where I feel like there's too many people would step in and say, nah, we're not. You can't. Like, it's not. You know what I mean? And now Pump.Fun having that pump token, they can decentralize it to the point where, hey, man, this is governance. This is owned by the people who own the coin. There's nothing you can do when it comes to KYC. And these lawsuits, in my opinion, they're going to come in firing because of these guys are ambulance chasers, right? Once they smell blood, they're gonna try their best to kind of reach out to people, get this going. And I think once we get the Clarity Act, I do feel like it's going to benefit a lot of these law firms in a way, but I don't think the law that so going forward, I think things changes. I think you're going to have to go in and click a lot more buttons when it comes to accepting rules and stuff that we didn't have before, and potentially it could really ruin the experience of some of these launch pads because of that. But I don't see anytime soon where going to these websites and stuff you need a VPN for or anything like that, because at the end of the day, they're decentralized peer-to-peer liquidity pools, right? So what are you gonna do? It's
Yeah, but again, it depends on how, in my opinion, I think it depends on how much TradFi wants to stir things up in our space. You can say that that it's going to be impossible to do that and things like that, but maybe the UX does change, and maybe it changes to the point to where the model doesn't work anymore that way, to
yeah,
where it's so easily to launch a token, because I'm telling you, I have this like just feeling that like the TradFi coming into this space hates the perceived value that we have for the risky stuff. Like they hate that so much because
yeah,
you're creating value out of, in your mind, nothing. Or like in our minds, it's like community, cool, like picture. In their minds, it's absolutely nothing. And let's be honest, like there's a term vaporware for a reason that's
yeah.
been in our space forever, right? So with that being said, like if someone invests in Tesla and they make $1 million from it, off of 10,000 long time ago. TradFi is completely okay with that because the fundamentals explained why it happened. But for someone to buy into a dog coin with $10,000 and make $1 million from it, they don't like that because the fundamentals can't explain that.
Yeah, but that's like saying going by a Pikachu, and then it becomes super rare, and I make $10,000 with Pikachu. Like they don't care. TradFi isn't going to stick their
I
head in
think
the
that's
card
different
game
because
because
yeah, to them you still
it's the
built
same. One's
well,
digital, one's not digital. I mean, that's the only difference.
no, because you are built, that product is an asset of another product that was created and played in video
Well,
games and
pushback
on
that it's Solana.
TV and all those
So
things, right?
the product of
And
Solana. It's the same thing. Like
I
Pikachu
mean,
is a product of Pokemon. Meme coin is a product of Solana. Like I feel like that's the same.
maybe if you're saying that like a specific like Solana, like the Solana team launched it or something like that, right? But you're having a bunch of people launch these tokens, right? I'm just telling you what I think that
Yeah.
their perception is, and why they hate the space, probably, or that part of
Yeah.
the space. And you know, when you're looking up at like something like Pikachu and stuff, that's why I like what Luca Ness is doing. He's
Yeah.
you know, incorporating branding into all this stuff, and
Yeah.
so that I think they're a lot more okay with. And it sucks that they're the ones that are making the rules, but they have a lot more money than people over here. And
Yeah.
again, like the fact that like these centralized exchange founders and stuff, I think they're slowly getting a little bit more on their side than we think.
And that's one thing too, is like if Pump.Fun goes down tomorrow, Fun.Pump's popping up the next day, right? Because it's so easy to create these things now, especially with AI. And if there's a demand for it, and then they try to shut down Fun.Pump, then you're going to see Ump.Fun pop up, right? It's just going to be, you know, it's just going to be a continuation. There will always be launchpad. So the best thing for them to do is regulate rules, and then try to enforce Pump, and it's the token holders to enforce that, so they can kind of choose a winner. So I do think that Pump.Fun is going to be legitimized to the point where potentially maybe you do have to fill out like a question KYC to launch a coin or something like that on Pump, so that you potentially could the launch part of it could be KYC, because that's all front end. But I mean, once that coin's launched, you can't KYC the traders. It's not possible.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the approach that they're going to go for, you know, the launchers
Yeah.
or whatever, the deployers of the token and stuff. But I mean, it really depends on how much power they have, though, because if before it was like they're against us,
Yeah.
right? And you had, I think I mentioned this before, you had Brian Armstrong, everybody CZ on the same side, and it was like TradFi was against us. So they were still like, there was a wedge in between. That wedge has been removed, and TradFi saying we want to be a part of what you guys are building now, but things need to change a little bit. And I think that they're kind of like, okay, well, let's
Yeah.
talk about it. You know, what's bad, what's good, what's the other, right? And so I think that that's something that's actively happening in our space. And you know, the you know, 2026, we're gonna find out, you know, if that's the case. And who knows? You know, like you said, another Pump.Fun could pop up if Pump.Fun got, you know, reprimanded or whatever, right? But the consequence is what's going to keep another one coming up. It happened with LimeWire, it happened with BearShare. Eventually, like they stopped because like they went so aggressive. The music industry went so aggressive on them, and the music industry ended up folding in a sense because they ended up going towards MP3s anyways. But they did it in a way to where they could control that whole movement.
Yeah, but in that sense, though, these were centralized companies, right? LimeWire and stuff like that. Here, it's an anon with an AI can create Ump.Fun, right? It could pop up tomorrow, and that person have, you know, it would be nearly impossible to kind of figure out where you know that this person created that. So it's a little different when it comes to
No,
centralization.
you can
And
track anybody down.
well, that's not completely true.
The CIA can track anybody down.
Not if you're using Tor, not if you're using there's ways around that, right? I mean,
But
especially
they've dealt with those type of people and been able to track them down too. Their
not all of
strategies,
them. You weren't able to
are
get 90% of the people on Silk Road. Just the 10% who were stupid got caught.
they don't try to go for 100% of the people. They
Well,
only
I'm
try to
just
go
saying,
for a small group of people, right? And
yeah.
enough to where they can send a message out there.
I'm just
right?
saying, if somebody wanted to, they could, you know, for a few months to a year, they could definitely have Launchpad
But
up
they
and
don't give up
banging
after a
out.
few months or a year. They'll eventually get you. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell you right now. There's
Hit you for what though? Creating a decentralized coding, and we're gonna like a samurai guy just got you know, pardoned by Trump. Like, are we gonna go start attacking people who create code?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying if they want to get you, they can though. So
For
the thing
creating code
for the people that have trillions of dollars in TradFi wanting that institution,
See, I don't
regulators to work with it.
go after people who create code.
I mean,
I'm just
go
saying
after.
we've gotten to a point now where creating code isn't illegal.
Yeah,
And
I'm not saying what is right or wrong. I'm not saying that.
yeah,
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what is wrong happens a lot of times because money can
so
make
what are
stuff
they going to
happen.
get in trouble for though?
Because
Like,
they're competing. They don't want them to
but
be
what are
like,
they going to get? What are they getting shut down for? I mean, we live in a world of law. I mean, I understand what you're saying, that money can tackle that, but when you're just writing code and putting it out there, what are you actually doing?
I mean, they can make stuff up, bro.
Okay.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Look at like what's his name? The Snowden, right? He's been constantly like
Yeah, but
outside of
that's
the
what I'm
U.S.
saying.
forever,
He was
and they just
public.
throw
I'm
stuff
talking
on
about
him.
anons with PFPs and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
we'll go past it though. Let's get into the crypto price action and Bitcoin. Wait, crypto price action and bubbles, because I don't know why I changed that on accident, but I did.
Crypto price action and bubbles. All
And
right, guys.
bubbles.
All right, guys, before we get into the price action here on the YouTube side, smash that like for us and subscribe to the channel. All that great stuff that you guys are amazing at, and turn your notifications on as well. On X, let's share the space as much as possible, and love the support from the Pump Streams, Abstract, everybody, Zora as well. Drop your comments and questions in the chat. We know it's a little bit slower because, you know, Christmas is in a couple days, but let's jump into some price action. Cheer. Let's go. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Move that and then share here. All right. Of course, 2 days before Christmas, we get the bloodiest crypto bubbles that we could have. All right, looking at Bitcoin here on the hour chart, looks like it wants to come out and escape this sell pressure. That's a good sign, right? Heading into Christmas Eve tomorrow, hopefully we can get into some positive price action, but we basically pulled this all the way back down from 90K yesterday morning to hitting that local low of 86.5. Looks like we're working our way up, and we are coming out of this sell pressure from the momentum indicator, the MACD here. We do need to see this blue line cross that orange line to get that confirmation, though, but we'll get that. I'm pretty confident of that. You can see the stochastic RSI as well, heading to the overbought territory, which is 80 points here, and we're at 63. So I think we're going to go back up. This is what it looks like. If I were to be a betting man, I would say, yeah, I think we're going to go back up here. Let's take a look at support and resistance, and this is going back to about 5 a.m. Eastern. You can see that the data is saying that we're about even with the sells and buys here, but the support does come in right below that at 87,550. Above that, support is strong as well. Just in this middle area right here, it is more balanced, and then above that, it's kind of back to the resistance. So it's kind of like a seesaw, back and forth here, but this is once you get down to this lower volume area, the resistance does pick up a bit, right? So we don't want to lose control in this area and fall down here, because we could get back closer to the 87,000, maybe upper 86,000 range, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have some strong buy pressure come in and push us up to 88. Maybe we get to 85, because all the indicators are telling me, at least for the next 2-4 hours, that could be the situation there. So Bitcoin, for the next couple hours, I think we're going to be trending to the upside. And then you can see on the daily, which I don't want to go to right now. I want to go to the 4 hour. Let me pull that up. 4 hour looks like we're starting to crack that sell pressure on the MACD as well. You can see when I pull this out here that we're starting to crack it, right? But we need to start to see this this fast line here start to curl up, right? And we get the stochastics closer to that 20-point mark, and then we can have that confirmation. But that is going to be for like tomorrow, which is Christmas Eve, and Christmas, if we do get out of here. So it would be probably a low liquidity type of trading environment the next 2 days regardless. So probably just chopping like we've been doing, honestly, back and forth, 86 to 90K until maybe heading into the weekend. But then the weekend's also low volume. So this might just be a next year thing, right? To where next year is where things get lively again. You know, you do have the tax situation. You have a lot of reasons to think maybe it's not going to be so crazy. So maybe I'm wrong about having that end of the year surge there. But yeah, so that's the 4 hour for us on Bitcoin. Taking a look here at the daily chart. Daily chart is showing buy pressure still, but getting broken down a little bit here. So today's going to be important, right? So if we get down to like 85 or 84 or something crazy like that happens, we'll come out of this and go into a sell pressure session. But you know, people are probably thinking the same way right now, in the sense of look, it's been no Santa rally. Q4 has been abysmal. You know, why get excited now, right before the end of the year, right? So seems to be kind of the energy that we're seeing there. So that is Bitcoin for you guys. Going to take a quick peek on it over at Ethereum, which is not going to be much different, honestly. The hour, it looks like it wants to hop out, just like I just talked about Bitcoin, right? So could see that positive price action. We are at 29.50. We could get back above 3K if that happens. And then taking a look at the 4 hour is going to be it's a little bit behind Bitcoin, right? So it hasn't broken down yet. So it's a very similar situation. It's just really trying to see where Bitcoin wants to go, and that's where we are with Ethereum right now. And so got to kind of see what happens here. This has been really weak buy pressure on the daily chart. Bitcoin at least had some MACD candles that started to form before it started to break down a little bit. So just a little bit tad behind Bitcoin in general. But that's Bitcoin Ethereum for you guys for the next couple hours and next couple days, right? You can see here in the top 200, but we're going to go to the top 100. Very similar theme though. You got a 97%, 90, about 95% red to green ratio. Stuff that's sticking out is night. So midnight is back down again, down 21%. That's tough right there. Pump.Fun down 12%. Maybe some of the lawsuit news, I'm not sure. Anything right now is just kind of bringing things down, right? Pangu down 5%. You got Zcash down 6%, and it's back to $400. So not too bad, honestly, for Zcash. Caspa pulling back 7% there. Bonk down 3%. Ondo down 3.5% here. Most across the board in this top 100 looks to be 3 to 5% pullback. So and some of the other stuff that did pull up though, XDC up 3.5%, Rain up 11, FTN up 6% there. I wonder if Marlin dropped back out of the top 100. Maybe they did briefly here. You see in the top 200, Pippin bounced back today. It's back to $430 million market cap. You got Fartcoin red again. It's not good when Fartcoin's red. We know that. It's down 8% there. You got Pith down 3.5%, Pendle down 12%, Beat, which has been on a green runner, like having a lot of positive price action, is down 39% or 38% here. So seeing just kind of this pullback, and I wonder what Christmas Day is going to be like. It's probably going to be extremely quiet, don't you think?
Yeah. So like China and stuff, they don't celebrate Christmas, right? Like in Asia. So to them, it's just another day. So I think in stocks and stuff for sure. Maybe some of the bigger US coins, maybe. I don't know. That's actually curious. I'm actually curious that you say that, like what happens on Christmas Day and stuff. Because we could see just like euphoria, just people just buying stuff for, I hope somebody gets me money for Christmas so I can buy some crypto. But I don't know how many people are gonna get money and stuff like that. So but honestly, maybe I should pay down my credit cards and get that situation back to normal. But yeah, I don't know, man. This has been a tough year to navigate for sure. Will next year be better? Really damn hope so. I really
Kind of has
hope
to be, right?
What if we do get something in the sense of this was 2019, because it's very similar when you look at it, and then next year potentially, we didn't see any runners until June, July of 2020, right? So, and then Bitcoin really didn't hit an all-time high until December.
I mean, I think the current administration has to change the sentiment all around.
Yeah.
I mean, could there just be a crypto, bullish environment? Yes, while the rest of America is not happy, but you want it to kind of be cohesive in that sense. I feel like, and I think they know that. So that's what I'm hoping for, right? I'm hoping for just positivity in 2026. Right, instead of so much negative, like, the tariffs are killing everybody, and this is not this. People are saying the economy's bad, but then numbers come out, the economy's not bad. We had growth in Q3. You know what I mean? Like I feel like people's heads aren't like trying to figure out like what is real and what isn't too. You know what I mean? And so how do you solve a lot of problems? You get that money right in people's pockets, right? People stop complaining when they get money. I mean, it's just a fact.
Let me ask you this. Do you think now crypto is no longer bipartisan? It's actually, it's a right-leaning asset class. Do you think that's a problem? 'Cause I think it is. I think a
Well, I
lot of
mean,
Democrats look at
like
us worse.
maybe, but like it's kind of been this past election definitely pushed it even more
Yeah,
to the right. But if you look at the people before this election, you did have way more conservatives
yeah,
that were pro crypto than Democrats, right, or
yeah,
liberals. And so with that kind of being pushed even more, there was a weird thing that happened. It was almost like everybody just shifted more towards crypto though, because
yeah,
like you had some Democrats realize that that could have been a big part of the reason why they lost in terms of donors. But the lobbying now, like, what does that look like, right? Because we're not getting rid of lobbying in our country. It's just
yeah,
not going to happen as much as we might want it to. It's just not going to happen. So the strongest lobby groups, without getting like a geopolitical thing, I'm not going to get into like APAC or nothing like that. The strongest lobbying groups are like the pharmaceutical groups
mhm,
and the banking institutions,
yeah,
right? And now you have crypto that came in this last election and proved to show some strength. What's going to happen with like pharmaceutical? You can move them out. Now you have banking or the banking sector and crypto, and it's almost kind of like there's a merge happening, but it's also like is it good? Is it bad? Who's going to pull the strings?
mhm,
Who has more money at the end of the day? We know the banking sector does. If you're like going to count dollars, they do. By a
yeah,
lot, by a lot. If they didn't want the current administration to win, I feel like they could have not had that happen. You know what I mean? In terms
oh.
of, well, I'm talking about funding wise, donor wise,
Well,
right? Because they
no,
have
that's
more
the thing
money.
too. Kamala had way more money than Trump.
That's true. That is true. You're
You
right.
know what I
You're right.
mean? Like,
You're
she
right.
didn't win because, the winner of the money game didn't win for the first
True.
time. It
That's
was
true.
Trump won 70-30, and she was like 1.5 billion, and he was like 750K or 750 million, sorry. You know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean? So
right. You're
she
right. She did
doubled
have
him.
more. She did have more money. She did raise more money. You're right. So maybe that's not the case, and maybe but okay. So politically, this that might you're right on that. But what about like regulators and stuff like that? Who can influence the regulators and those things more? I don't know. I don't know. I'm learning about what this kind of merge and this melting
Yeah.
together is looking like. I mean, I think we all are, right?
Yeah, and we never had regulation before. So we don't know if it's gonna be good, bad, or ugly, right? Like, we don't know what it's gonna look like. So, and I think that's a big problem with crypto right now too. We don't know. Like, there is like the worst part of investing is investing in uncertainty. We don't have that clarity yet. Maybe we get that, but that's our show for you guys today. I gotta get out of here a little early. We usually go a full hour and a half to 2 hours, but tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas Eve. Spend time with your families. This will be hopefully the last time that we touch grass or snow wherever you're at. You're at, right? 'Cause for me, it's a little snowy today, but I really appreciate you guys, man. It's been an incredible year for OnChain Revolution, just for just being a part of your lives and what you guys do on a daily basis. But really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And I know I told you happy birthday before the show, but happy birthday. Enjoy it today. And, we appreciate all you guys, right? This might not have been the best year and what we expected through 2025, but we're here, we're surviving. And that's what you got to do. You talk to the best builders in the space. They say survive through the hardest times that you go through because one, you learn, how to do things better. And two, you don't give up before the big prize comes, right? So appreciate each and every one of you guys. Without y'all, we couldn't do the show. We're very, very thankful. But we're also very thankful towards our partners. Without them, we definitely couldn't do the show as well. So if you could check them out, we would be very appreciative. Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your Bitcoin ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs like Rare Pepes or Nakamoto cards, you got to use Emblem Vault. They've been doing this since 2021, and they've been building in the Bitcoin ecosystem since 2013. So they have all the experience and expertise with that. They're going to open this up to different layers as well. Solana, HBAR, BSC. They are all about interoperability. They always have been, right? That's been their shtick there. And finally it's coming, to fruition, I feel like, because the space is coming around to it. But yeah, speaking of Solana and HBAR, BSC, they have the best AI product in those ecosystems called agenthustle.ai. If you go to agenthustle.ai, you can ask Hustle, find me a couple low gem market cap plays in Solana or HBAR, and he'll bring back some options for you and why that these are good options, right? You can also do buy and sell limit orders that are automated by Hustle. There's a conditional trading engine in Hustle, and you can use them in all of those ecosystems. Now, there is a free subscription level that you can get a taste of what using Hustle is like. You do get a minimum number of prompts to kind of just test it out there. So if you want to have that advantage and tool set, you got to upgrade to the paid subscriptions there. And you can actually use the Hustle token, which is the single token that powers the entire ecosystem, and you get a 30% discount when you pay with that. So really awesome stuff there. There is another product in their ecosystem called Migrate.Fun. We've been talking a lot about Migrate.Fun, especially on Fridays, and that's where we met Pyro, right? And so a lot of projects you can kind of do research on that are migrating, and they're in their current third cohort, which is focused on the Pump.Fun ecosystem. A lot of these are ICM projects that have come over from either the Believe ecosystem or another launchpad, or maybe they just had their own and they're going to leverage Pump's marketing for this or whatever. But you can check it out here, and if you launch the token yourself and you need to migrate to another launchpad or to do your own LPs, you got to use Migrate.Fun. They are the experts at it. So head over to Migrate.Fun, reach out to the team and ask them any questions that you have. And then also go to emblem.vision to learn about the products I just broke down for you guys. And then Merlin Chain, which has been on fire with its token, at least price action, is uniting Bitcoin strength to the power of their AI. They have their Wizard version 2.0 that can guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem, but it can also swap for tokens outside of the ecosystem. It's a really simple, straightforward product that can swap for Solana tokens, BNB tokens. All you got to do is have some Merlin Chain Bitcoin in your Merlin Chain wallet, which is a MetaMask wallet or one of the Bitcoin wallets, Unisat or Xverse there. But yeah, they can definitely, the Wizard can help you with all, the cross-chain stuff. And then going back to Merlin Chain, it can do DeFi swaps for you and staking as well. Speaking of staking, Merlin Chain is a proof of stake security model, and you can participate in 3 ways. The first way is staking Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. You get paid out in Bitcoin. It's an awesome product here. The first staking vault ended September 30th. They got 17% APR for their Bitcoin stakers. And I think there was a total of like 76 Bitcoin staked. And then the current Bitcoin staking vault ends January 8th. So it's right around the corner. They got like 123 Bitcoin staked this time. They're going to be shooting for around that same APR, minimum 8%, maximum 21%. But if you don't want to squeeze in here the last couple of days, you can wait until they open a new Bitcoin staking vault, which should be really exciting. And then there's 2 ways to participate in with the Merlin Chain token. The first one is the flexible day-to-day staking vault, which you earn 15% APR. You can claim your rewards daily. You can roll them up into a compound interest strategy. You can sell them, keep them in your wallet, whatever you want to do. Just know that if you do want to withdraw your Merlin Chain token, there's a 7-day cooldown period though, for the processing part of that. And then the last option is the bonded option, which is a 6-month lockup staking period. You earn 45% APR, and you can claim your rewards daily as well, which is awesome because this is a 6-month staking lockup, right? You can do whatever you want, obviously, with those rewards, but just know 6 months it's locked up, but that's why you get 45% APR. And yeah, that's it. The team is live on Coinbase Perps, so you can trade Perps there, and excited for 2026 for this team. So head over to merlinchain.io to learn more. And our last partner here is satsman.fun, which is a Runes meme coin launchpad that is on Bitcoin Layer 1. They leverage ICP's tech stack to make this a smooth, seamless process for you guys to trade, because once it bonds from the launchpad, it gets sent over to RichSwap, which is an AMM that, again, leverages the ICP tech stack along with Bitcoin Layer 1 to make these trades possible for you, right? And so super exciting stuff. ICP has their own Bitcoin node, so that makes this possible. And as you can see, the second Genesis token is, I think it just bonded out, or it minted out here. So super exciting. I love the Land Wolf character. I think it could be a really staple meme in the Bitcoin L1 ecosystem. And so definitely check it out. If you have any questions, you can reach out to their team through their Twitter. But yeah, there's going to be more exciting stuff coming out about satsman.fun. We're going to do some Runes reviews as well, because in 2026, that is one ecosystem that can really thrive, right? And if it starts with dog, then that's something that could really trickle down to these type of tokens as well. So thank you guys for checking out our partners. We really appreciate it.
Yup. Great job, man, as always. And shout out to Land Wolf. Congratulations to everyone who participated in that. Absolutely huge there. If you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone entering the space, send them our website. We really feel like get started and caught up to where we are today. Merlin Chain article here. Make sure you guys are reading these articles. They will really help you understand what is happening. If you guys need a VPN, I highly recommend NordVPN. I use it every single day. Lock it in for $2.99 a month. If you lock it in for 2 years, you actually get an extra 3 months. Lock that in, guys. You're able to use Hyperliquid, MXC, anything. Really, definitely have a VPN, especially when you're using Pump.Fun. Have a VPN on. And on top of that, if you guys have a ledger or want a ledger, a new one, check out our deals. Deals are absolutely amazing right now. I'm not even joking. $59 for a Ledger Nano S, $100 for Nano X. Definitely highly recommend you guys get a a ledger here. Because we could be heading into a bear market here where you can lock your crypto up, set it, forget it, and try and find new opportunities, right? So, but definitely highly recommend you guys get yourself a ledger if you don't have one, and use our site. Definitely helps the show if you're interested. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday. We will not be live tomorrow or Thursday because we'll be celebrating Christmas Eve and Christmas with our families. We'll be back with you guys on Friday, and then next week will be 100% very normal. I think we're knocking it out on New Year's, right?
Probably we'll do our traditional kind of New Year's countdown thing or something fun like that. But Merry Christmas to all you guys that celebrate it, and we thank you guys for supporting us this entire year. And look, 2026 is going to be an amazing year for OnChain Revolution, but also for you guys that are staying and paying attention. And we're excited about it. So just hang in there. I know it's been tough, but we're in this together, right till the end.
You can say that again. See you guys.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.